What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the $20 billion targeted EIDL grant stimulus update for Monday, December the 21st, 2020. Please do me each favor, give this video a thumbs up, hashtag EIDL with your comments below, share this video all over social media. And if you'd like me, a Dallas Cowboy fan, to help grow your business, when this idle madness is over, I ask that you please subscribe right now and hit the bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had one hell of a day, and I've had way too many cups of coffee. The good news, I just had my quarterly checkup at the doctor. My blood pressure is the lowest it's been in 15 years. In other words, I'm doing really well, and considering the flu, or whatever the hell that was, that I had to struggle with a couple of weeks ago, I'm just beyond the moon. And like I said, this is probably cup number 4. And by the way, to the idiot that keeps asking me if I'm on Adderall, I haven't done drugs in 14 years. Not even an old puff of the peace pipe. None of that. I occasionally drink, and yes, I am addicted to coffee, really good coffee. You need to do all this stuff. Do you guys know that I'm up until 4 o'clock in the morning answering over 1,000 comments per video? 1,000 comments, including spending at least an hour blocking those motherfuckers that tell you to go over to Instagram or Facebook or to text them that they can get you your $10,000. Once again, never under any circumstance whatsoever respond to those people. I spend, probably to the detriment of my own health, an hour a night, sometimes 2 hours a night, blocking dozens of them, reporting them. Has it slowed them down? Of course not. But I spend all that time doing that because I don't want you guys to get ripped off. And speaking of ripped off, last night on the community wall, I did a post. I was excited. I saw a video from Meet Kevin at the 4-minute and 23-minute mark. If you want to go watch it, I think it's probably 5 videos ago, where he said $50 billion of EIDL grant money had been added to this new bill. And I said, holy shit. It was supposed to be $13.5 billion. If it's going to be $50 billion, that means every single one of you are going to get the balance of the 10 grand you were promised in the CARES Act. Well, 30 minutes later, he retracts that in a live stream because he read the Axios article, which came straight from Miss Nancy Pelosi, and it's actually $20 billion. So in order to avoid mass confusion, I deleted the post, but let me remind everybody. $20 billion is almost a 50% increase from the $13.5 billion. And to the smart asses who say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. It's not $50 billion, it's only 20. I came this close to blocking you guys. And by the way, if you haven't seen one of our loyal subscribers say that I am a savage when it comes to blocking, you know why? You know why I will block a dickhead? I'll tell you why. This channel is supposed to be a sanctuary. Do you know how many people come here for hope, for love, for support, for entertainment? They don't want to be dragged down by some doom and gloom Debbie Downer who's got nothing but negativity to spew. So if you want to correct me, a guy who's busting his fucking ass on behalf of the small business owner, fine, do so respectfully. Because if you don't, it'll be the last time you participate on this channel. All right, Jason, enough of that bullshit. What does targeted mean? I'm going to tell you. Did Karen Mills, former head of the SBA, really mean that you should get your 10 grand and a loan twice the size of what you already got? Are you going to have to, for the 1,784,622nd time, are we going to have to reapply, Jason? And last but not least, when am I going to get my money? I will answer all of those questions in the next 7 to 12 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are unscripted. I've never edited a video in my entire life. Over 60 million views on YouTube, LinkedIn, excuse me. Close to 3 million in the last 10 months on YouTube. It comes from right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, what the hell? Enough of the bloviating. By the way, the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants lose, the Washington football team goes down, and those Fly Eagle flies, although Jalen Hurts, way better than Hopalong. I call Wentz Hopalong. He's done in Philly. Get rid of him. Trade him to the Jets. Or maybe New England. There's an idea I saw on ESPN today. What does targeted mean? Love you guys. What does targeted mean? 3 things. Number 1, if you are a minority-owned business, if you have 50 employees or less, And if you can show an economic loss of 25% or more, ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you based on what I just saw from Secretary Mnuchin, what I have gathered from the new PPP, I believe with all my heart, and I will know within the next 24 hours when we get a copy of this 3,000-page bill. This thing is bigger than the original CARES Act, so we're definitely going to find out what targeted means. But it's my opinion that it's going to mimic the SBA Lifeline grant in the HEROES Act. I've talked about this numerous times. They used the word targeted in the HEROES Act. I believe it was page 37 of 85 on the summary. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it says in there that the SBA Lifeline grant is to be for minorities. It's to be for those who have 50 employees or less. And it's to be for those who have a 25 or 30%. It appears they've actually gone back to 25 with respect to the PPP, which is good. If you can show a drop of that amount or more as a result of the pandemic, then you are going to be in line for this $20 billion of EIDL targeted grant. So if you're a fat cat, you're a Zoom, you're a Microsoft, you're an Amazon, you're a FedEx, and you're rocking and rolling, I don't think you're going to have access to this $20 billion of targeted EIDL. But if you're hanging on by a thread like many of you are, if you're really struggling to survive, if you come to this channel for love and support, you're a minority who we love and respect. There shall be no discrimination, no racism allowed on this channel, and thankfully you guys have been great. And if you've got 50 employees or less now, if they want to get real hardcore, they're going to go down to 10, but I think it's going to be 50. So one more time, if you're a minority, if you have 50 employees or less, and you can show a 25% drop or more in revenue, you are going to be first in line to get the balance of the $10,000 you were promised. And this $20 billion will be enough. If they eliminate all the frauds, all the fakes, and all those that are doing just fine, thank you very much, $20 billion will be enough. Which leads me to my next point. Did Karen Mills, watch my video yesterday if you haven't already, did she really mean when she said in that Facebook Live with Big Ben Cardin, second in command at the Senate Committee for Small Business, who said, you deserve 10 grand and to have your EIDL loan forgiven, which this guy's going to fight tooth and nail to the death to make sure happens in the first half of next year. But she used to run the SBA, ladies and gentlemen, under the Obama administration. She was the current Miss Javita Carranza. She says in that interview, and you can watch it, it's pinned in yesterday's comments, you're supposed to get $10,000. Rationing of the grant at $1,000 per employee was a mistake. Her words, not mine. But she also said, as I and other channels have said, the pandemic's gone on a lot longer than 6 months. Ms. Carranza has repeatedly said the EIDL program was supposed to be 6 months of working capital. Well, we're going on 12 months of mandatory lockdowns, and based on what's going on in Europe, that may continue into the early part of next year. So as far as Karen Mills is concerned, you should get another 6 months. So ladies and gentlemen, here is what I want to stress before I answer the reapplication and when are you going to get your money questions. It ain't over based on this bill. There's $20 billion here. But the EIDL for Small Business Act, known as S4227, which calls for $80 billion of the grant and $100 billion of the loan, it's not over. The Problem Solvers Caucus, which called for $50 billion of EIDL grant, that's not over. And the HEROES Act, the $2.2 trillion, not only had $50 billion of EIDL, but it had another $40 billion of this Lifeline grant, which I believe is what the $20 billion is going to look like in this current bill. More's coming. In fact, if you read Mitch McConnell's if you fucking read his Twitter feed, oh my goodness, Jason, get it out. You read his Twitter feed last night at midnight. He said, there's another bill coming. This was a emergency stopgap. So sometime in January, probably February, under the new administration, and God forbid, I say that facetiously, if the Democrats take control of the Senate, they're going to spend money like crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I live just outside of Atlanta. I'm seeing a lot more blue signs than I am red. So I am not going to be surprised, based on all the money that's coming into this state, if the Democrats do in fact take control of the U.S. Senate. And if they have the Senate, the House, and the White House, that's a blank check. That's what Senator Pat Toomey was basically raising hell over yesterday. He knows damn well if the Republicans lose the Senate, the Democrats could knock on the Federal Reserve door and say, Illinois, California, New York, we need about $600, $700, $800 billion tomorrow. So they tried to put the kibosh on that, and apparently they have some sort of agreement. So my point is this. There's definitely something coming. But if the Democrats take control of the Senate, and it's not a partisan comment, whatever bill or stimulus was coming, you might as well double it. So it ain't over yet. Last but not least, and please don't give me the thumbs down. I'm not telling you to vote blue. I'm just telling you guys the truth, as I always do. I'm trying to entertain you. How about them Cowboys, right? Are we going to have to reapply? Do you know how many times, and I got a little salty last night with a couple of folks in the comments. Do you know that there were over 300 people that asked me, are we going to have to reapply? If you go back over 126 videos in 10 months, I have been asked that, no shit, at least 100,000 times. And there'll be people in the comments, even though I'm addressing it right now, I got $1,000, am I going to get the other, am I going to have to reapply? My answer is this. I don't think so. If they make 9 million people that are already in the queue reapply, you won't get your money till April or May. And they don't want that. So here's how I think this is going to go down. The SBA is going to send out an email once this law passes, let's say in the next 10 days. We've got great news. There's $20 billion of targeted EIDL grant money. In order to qualify, you have to meet one of these 3 requirements. Not all 3, one of these 3. Are you a minority-owned business? Check this box. Here comes the balance of your $10,000. Do you have 50 employees or less? Check this box. Here comes the balance of your $10,000. Can you show with your bank statements and or tax returns that your revenue in 2020 dropped at least 25% compared to last year as a result of the lockdown? Check this box and here comes the money. Now, this is my opinion. I will know more when I read this bill tomorrow. I don't think they're going to be hardcore, ladies and gentlemen. Let us not forget, back in March and April, they loaned out billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars at this point without any documentation required. Now, what they might do, based on whatever industry you're in, where fraud seems to be prevalent over here and not so much over there, they may say, we need a copy of your business checking account and or your taxes and or your incorporation papers. But I think it's going to be on the honor system. I will be shocked if a few hundred loan officers that they've got, maybe it's 500 to 1,000 at this point, have to pour through 9 million tax returns and bank statements in order to verify if you had a 25% drop in revenue. I think it's going to be an honor system under perjury. So if you lie to the SBA, which I do not recommend, you're in big trouble. I think it's going to be as simple as, yes, I am. Yes, I have less than 50. And yes, I can prove. Maybe they ask you to send a bank statement. But even if they do, I don't think they're going to pour over it. You guys got to remember something. The SBA has been in violation, according to the Government Accountability Office, of the law known as the CARES Act for months. They're in a pickle. They may have lawsuits out the yin-yang if we don't get this money into the hands of every single one of you that are watching. The last thing I think they're going to want to do is to be a real you-know-what with respect to getting this money out. So, last but not least, and I appreciate it if you've stuck with me this far, when's the money going to hit? Well, Secretary Mnuchin said the checks are going to start going out with respect to the $600, $2,400 if you have a family of 4, on Monday. That should mean, according to Secretary Mnuchin, by Wednesday of next week, which I believe is December the 30th, the money's going to actually hit your account. With respect to EIDL, and this is my opinion, I think it's going to take a little bit longer. At some point between January the 5th and the 15th of next year, as long as you meet those qualifications of what targeted means, and again, I will know the exact details within 24 hours, the money's going to arrive in your account. So in other words, if you meet the qualifications, minority, 50 employees or less, 25% or more drop in revenue, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, this 10-month saga, nightmare known as EIDL is over, and it's just the beginning because there's going to be part 2 in January or February of this year. And let us not forget, I want the whole damn thing wiped out. So I will fight tooth and nail to the death to make sure that you never owe the SBA a dime. I love you guys. I really appreciate all the support, and thanks so much for watching.